everybody, it's Mel. Thank you so much for joining me today for What Victoria Read Made Me Do It. So this is the second video of this type in a series that I started a couple of months ago, with the first video being Colson Made Me Do It, which I will link in the description below. The idea behind these videos is that I choose another booktuber and I choose some books of theirs that they really enjoy or that I have been inspired by them to read, and I give them a try. So this one, I'm going to read some books inspired by Victoria from What Victoria Read. Victoria is an absolutely amazing person, a fantastic booktuber. You should definitely go and check out her channel if you haven't already and subscribe. I will link her channel down in the description below, so you can go ahead and do that. I love Victoria's channel. I love Victoria. She is a good friend of mine, and yeah, I'm really excited to be reading some books that she has inspired me to pick up. So this is a reading vlog, and you'll see me reading different books and discussing how I feel about them with you. It is not necessarily the case that these books have only been talked about by the person that has inspired me, or that they were even the first person who talked about the books, but there is a reason why I am choosing those books. Maybe they absolutely love them, they're the reason that they made me want to pick them up because of how much they talk about them or how much love they talk about having for them. So yeah, that is what I'm going to be doing in this vlog, and you'll get to watch me experience these books, as you know, because that's how vlogs work. So I thought today, to start off, I'd go through and have a little bit of a chat about what books I'm going to be reading and why I've chosen those books. I do have 3 books, 2 of which I'm reasonably certain that I'm going to quite enjoy, and one I'm not sure about. I am a little concerned that I won't like it, but part of the point of these videos is to push me a little bit out of my comfort zone and get me to try new things. So yeah, that's what we're going to do. I'm going to explain why I've chosen the books and a little bit about the books in a moment, but I wanted to tell you what the books are first of all. So the first one is Disillusion by CJ Sampson. Then we have Madam by Phoebe Wynne. And then the final book, which I will be borrowing from the library, is Tender is the Flesh by Augustine. I can't remember her surname, but it'll be up on the screen. I thought that I would just say the books first of all because I am pretty sure that Victoria will know which book is the book that is out of my comfort zone and which are the 2 that I'm pretty sure that I will enjoy. So yeah, I thought that I'd give Victoria an opportunity to say, aha, I knew it. But anyway, so those are the 3 books. So why did I choose these? The first book that I mentioned is Disillusion by CJ Sampson. This is a historical fiction, police detective, murder mystery type of book. So we follow a lawyer and longtime supporter of reform, has been sent by Cromwell to uncover the truth about what's going on, and his name is Matthew Shardlake. So this is the first book in the Matthew Shardlake series. I got this from a secondhand bookstore along with a few of the other books in the series because I heard Victoria talk about these and she made them sound like fantastic books. I really enjoy historical fiction. I really enjoy historical fiction mysteries. One of my favourite series of all time is the Mary Russell series, which is a Sherlock Holmes historical fiction retelling. And I love that. And this sounded like the kind of thing that I would really enjoy based on that. So when I saw them in the secondhand bookstore, I snaffled them up. And yeah, it just sounds really fun. Victoria loves these books. And like I said, she made them sound exactly like my kind of thing. Apologies if the sound's been a bit funny. My mic was pressing into my shirt. So it says it is 1537, a time of revolution that sees the greatest changes in England since 1066. Henry VIII has proclaimed himself supreme head of the church. The country is waking up to savage new laws, rigid trials, and the greatest network of informers it has ever seen. And under the orders of Thomas Cromwell, a team of commissioners is sent throughout the country to investigate the monasteries. There can only be one outcome: dissolution. But on the Sussex coast at the monastery of Scansea, events have spiralled out of control. Cromwell's commissioner, Robin Singleton, has been found dead, his head severed from his body. His horrific murder is accompanied by equally sinister acts of sacrilege. And that's when Matthew Shardlake is sent to figure out what's going on. But yeah, so that's the first book that I'm going to be reading. Well, I don't know if I'll read this one first, but this is the first book in the list that I wanted to tell you about that I will be reading. So you will see what I think of that as I go through. The next book that I mentioned a moment ago is Madam by Phoebe Wynne. So I've chosen this book because this book was directly recommended to me by Victoria. A few years ago, I did an anniversary of my channel video in which I asked a few different booktubers to recommend a book to me, and they filmed a little clip recommending a book to me, and then I put them all together in the video and put it up as a celebration. And this was the book that Victoria recommended to me. So, because I haven't got around to it yet, I decided that I needed to put it on this list because it's directly recommended to me from Victoria. So I do think I'll probably enjoy it. So what does it say on the back? For 150 years, Caldon Bray Hall has loomed high above the Scottish cliffs as a beacon of excellence in the ancestral castle of Lord William Hope. A boarding school for girls, it promises that its pupils will emerge resilient and ready to serve society. Into its illustrious midst steps Rosie Christie, the new head of classics. Soon overwhelmed by Caldon Bray's arcane traditions, unrivaled prestige, and terrifyingly cool, vindictive students, Rose's classroom becomes her haven. Here the stories of fearless women from ancient Greek and Roman histories ignite the curiosity of the girls she teaches and unknowingly the suspicions of the powers that be. As Rose uncovers the darkness that beats at the very heart of Caldon Bray, the lines between myth and reality grow even more blurred. It'll be up to Rose and the fierce young women she has come to love to find a way to escape the fate the school has in store for them before it is too late. So this sounds really, really interesting. It sounds quite dark academia style. It sounds like it could be fairly similar in a way to The Secret History, which I really enjoyed. Love classics. And yeah, it sounds like it will be really fun, really interesting, a little bit of a dark academia vibe, and also kind of a bit of a horror-y type vibe. So I'm really excited to see what I think of this one. So thank you for the recommendation. Sorry it took me so long to get to it, but we're finally here, and you will, as we said, see how I go with this as well. And then the final book is Tender is the Flesh. Now, this one is the one that is quite outside my comfort zone. I really don't know what I'm going to make of this book. There is a very high chance that I will not get along with it, but I'm going to give it a try because Victoria loves it. She says it's quite odd and a bit full on, so she's kind of given us quite a bit of warning that maybe, you know, it might not be for everyone, and me included, but we'll see how we go. And yeah, she makes it sound really interesting, and she makes it sound like something worth picking up, even though I'm feeling nervous about it. So this is a book in which I think it's kind of meant to be dystopian, and it's about our world, and something has happened to the various animals, livestock that we farm to eat, and their flesh is no longer safe for human consumption. And so to get around this, we have started breeding humans as food, and that's what it's about. I don't know anything more than that. It does sound like it could be really interesting, but also really confronting, and I've heard other people talk about it and really enjoy it. I've heard people talk about it and thought, I don't know if I could handle that book, but we're going to try. We're going to see how we go. But yeah, like I said, Victoria loves it, and she has definitely made it sound like something worth picking up. So those are the 3 books that we are going to read in this vlog. So yeah, stay tuned and to see what I make of them, and I'll talk to you soon. So I have read the first 3 chapters of this book, Disillusion. I'm enjoying it so far. It is very well written. It's written almost like a classic in the way that it's structured, but yeah, it's really well written. The character is obviously very intelligent, and yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. It's a little bit more detail than you'd necessarily get. That's why I feel like it's classic, because you wouldn't necessarily get the amount of detail in a modern book, just in terms of like the way he's describing their travel and the way that it's like describing the project he's been given, and then how he's getting there, and like it's not just diving straight into the mystery or anything, which is fine. But yeah, that's why it feels a bit more classic-like, although this is not a classic. This was published in 2003. But yeah, I'm really enjoying it so far, so I'm looking forward to reading some more. I don't really have much else to say at this stage. I will see, obviously, how I go. The only thing is that the main character has a hunchback, which he keeps describing as a disability, which I assume, like, at the time set, which is the 1600s, I think, or 1500s, it would have been considered a disability. And certainly he was very, like, we have an incident where he's gone to an inn and people are like not looking at him funny and stuff, and then he accidentally touches, like, his cloak accidentally brushes someone else's kind of arm or something as they walk past, and the friend of the person he touched was like, oh, you'll have bad luck now. So, but I'm assuming that's historically accurate, but I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure about the like representation side of it, if that makes sense. In terms of like, does CJ Sansom have a disability? I don't know, but it feels historically accurate at the very least. But yeah, anyway, like I said, I'm enjoying it, so I'll chat with you a bit later. I'm up to, like I said, chapter 4, so it's not very far in. I might check in when I'm halfway through, which should be, well, it'll probably be in a while. We'll see how we go. Don't know if I'll get there today or not. I've got a few things I want to do. But anyway, yeah, I'll check in with you when I have gotten halfway through, and hi. I just finished Dissolution by CJ Sampson. I really, really enjoyed this one. I'm not sure what I have rated it because I haven't put it through Corpal yet, but I'm thinking it's going to be around 4 stars. The simple reason that it's not going to get 5 stars is that I am uncertain about some of the way that they talk about different things like race and disability and, yeah, things like that.
So they constantly refer to the main character, and he refers to himself in this way as well, as a cripple. He has a hunchback, and he has difficulty with his back, gives him pain, and he has trouble walking and riding and things like that. There's one of the characters is a Spanish Moor, and so has dark skin, and so there's talk about how he won't be accepted in society, and people are afraid of him because of his looks and things like that. And then there's talk of some of the monks being queer, and they talk about them being sodomites, and there's also talk about sexual harassment and sexual assault, which is treated as a bad thing, but it's talked about in a way that implies that the woman is halfway to blame. All of this is historically accurate. It was set in the 1530s, so it's historically accurate. They definitely would have definitely found all of these things difficult. There was definitely, obviously, racism, sexism, homophobia, all of these things. It was against the law to be queer. So it's historically accurate, but the book itself is published in 2003. So I don't know. I feel a little bit weird about that. Like, even though it's historically accurate, is it how we should be referring to things in a book published in the 2000s? I don't know. So I'm feeling a little bit like kind of uncertain about how to feel about that. So that's why I've not, like, I can't give it a higher rating. But I did really enjoy it. I thought it was really well written. It's a bit of a slow burn, and even at the end when the main character figures out who had done what, there's quite a bit of like kind of faffing, I guess. And then the epilogue, well, it gives you information about what happened to the monastery, which is fine. But yeah, it was a bit slow. Excuse me. It was a bit of a slow burn, which is fine. But like, you're reading a kind of mystery, you want it to be a bit quicker paced. But like I said, I did enjoy it, and there was a lot of really interesting information about the time period in England, the closing down of the various Catholic monasteries, bit of stuff about Cromwell. So it was really interesting, well written. Yeah, I did like the resolve, who did what, the resolution of that. But yeah, I think it'll come out at probably 4 stars. Like I said, I haven't run it through Corpol yet, but in the next clip I can let you know, because I literally just finished it. But yeah, in the next clip I can let you know what I did, what I got when I ran it through Corpol. But yeah, I think it's successful. I am happy to have read it. I thought that I would enjoy it from the way that it was presented by Victoria initially when I first heard about it. Will I continue with the series? I don't know. I don't know if I have, I mean, I definitely don't have all of the series. I bought a bunch secondhand. I saw a bunch from the series secondhand, but I don't actually know. So the next one is Darkfire and then Sovereign, and I think it's Darkfire that I'm missing. So I'll have to try and get my hands on that if I'm going to continue with the series. But like, I did enjoy it enough to want to know what's going on and learn more about, excuse me, the Reformation and Henry VIII and Cromwell and Shardlake, obviously the main character. So we'll see. But anyway, for this video, the next book I'm going to be picking up is Madam by Phoebe Wynne. Which is like across the room, and I am too lazy to get up and get it for this clip, even though I am literally about to get up and make myself some breakfast. Anyway, I'm going to go now and get myself some breakfast and probably have a shower. I'm not sure what time it is because I am currently filming on this phone and I can't tell the time, and we don't have any clocks in the house. So, and my watch is in my bedroom. But I think it's probably around 9:30. I'm meeting my parents for lunch, so, and I need to, shower and stuff. So I don't know if I'll pick up any more books. Like, I don't know if I'll pick up Madam today. But anyway, I'm going to go now, and the next time you see me, I'll be probably just starting Madam. So yeah, talk to you soon. Hello. So it is reasonably early in the morning, and obviously I have a cat on my lap, but I'm jumping in because I wanted to tell you that I'm about to start reading Madam by Phoebe Wynne. So this is the book that was directly recommended to me by Victoria in my video where I asked a bunch of different booktubers to recommend books to me for my BookTube birthday. So that has been linked below, which I think I probably already mentioned. But yeah, I thought that I would jump on and say hi and let you know I'm about to start. And I don't know when exactly, I guess I'll talk to you as I feel like it. But I'll definitely try and talk to you halfway through and at the end, but we'll see how we go. So, yeah. Hello again. So it's a few hours later, and I have read about a quarter of the book, just about, and I'm really enjoying it. It's very well written. It's not like super creepy, but there are definitely strange undertones and strange things going on. Nothing that's like ghostly, but very kind of just odd. Mostly from the staff, also from the students, but mostly from the staff. Like the staff have said a few odd things to her, and now there's been a complaint made against her about her conduct with the students. But the way that they seem to be handling it is very weird. Yeah, so there's like a underlying current of kind of wrongness, but you don't really know like what that is or why. But I'm enjoying it. I think it's well done. So I'm excited to see where it goes. So I just thought I'd update you on that. And yeah, talk to you later. Hello. So I'm about a third of the way through. Two-thirds of the way through. And we've just had the big reveal about what the school is actually all about and what their purpose is. And it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty Stepford. It's also very, like, controlling and scary. I don't want to say any more than that at the moment because I don't really know where it's going to go. But yeah, I'm intrigued and kind of horrified. So let's see how we ended up. Hello again. It's actually the next day, and I thought I'd come on and say a little bit more about the book and my thoughts because yesterday I wasn't super coherent. I don't feel like. I'm still kind of reeling a little bit from what has been revealed. So I say it's Stepford, which it kind of is. It's a cult, but it's also, yeah, very Stepford. So it turns out that this school is kind of a meat market and they're training all these girls to be wives and they have them in these different streams, and depending on how well they kind of purport themselves is to what stream they end up getting put into, which then determines what type of person they then get offered to. So if they're in like the top stream, then they get offered to the aristocrats, and then there's like the middle stream, which is like working class, like barristers. Well, no, not working, upper middle class, I guess, barristers, but like working people, barristers and lawyers and stuff. And then there's like the bottom stream, which is like older men who haven't found anyone or who are like, you know, they're widowers and stuff like that. And our main character, Rose, is completely horrified by this, but her mother has MS and is in a hospice and needs care, and the school is paying for that. But they're also threatening that if she leaves, then they will take all sorts of retribution, including not paying and not looking after the mother anymore. But also they have information about her father. Basically, they like blackmailing her, and they have her in like a really bad position. So she kind of has no choice but to kind of just go along with it. But she's totally like upset, and the girls just seem to totally know. They don't seem to understand that there's an issue with it. They just seem to think it's completely normal, like that they're being groomed to be wives, and that's it. They don't seem to think there's anything weird or wrong with that. It's set in I'm not sure if it's 80s or I think it's 92, so early 90s. So like, you know, we have had a feminist revolution. Like, obviously, you know, there's still a lot of things that need to, we haven't, despite what people may say, we still need feminism. We haven't completely gotten rid of misogyny or patriarchy or anything, but like, we've had some changes, and even in the 90s we've had some changes, so it shouldn't be that. But yeah, it's all very, and it was very secretive. She only found out at the end of her probation, but she knew there was something weird going on. It's all very weird. So I am actually quite close to finishing. I have excerpt from another book of this author's at the end, so I have to find the actual end of this book. And then I have to do some maths, which we all know I'm not very good at. 435. Okay, so I have basically 100 pages left, and I should be able to finish that today. Certainly my plan. If not, then I'll finish it tomorrow, because I am also reading a different book, not for this vlog, but I want to try and get that finished in the next couple of days as well. But yeah, it's kind of disturbing, but also really good. It's really well written, and I'm very excited to see how it all ends up. I hope that Rose manages to kind of extricate herself from everything, but I'm also horrified for these girls. And if she can extricate herself, but the school stays, then, you know, like, there's a whole bunch of women who are just, bunch of girls who are just, like, yeah, just step-footed off in their lives. So I'm excited to see where it goes. But anyway, yeah, I think I'm obviously wearing my hoodie. I am still in my PJs. It's like nearly 10 o'clock in the morning, so I really should go and get dressed and stuff. But yeah, I will talk to you in a bit. I probably won't talk to you again until I finish the book. So. Hello. It is June the 3rd, or is it June the 4th? June the 4th, and I had intended to have read the final book and have the vlog done by now, but I did have some obligation reads for read-alongs and whatnot that I needed to finish, and June, if you are not aware, is the amazing readathon, so I needed to finish things before that because of the way that readathon is structured. Anyway, but I can fit this book into the Amazing Readathon, so that works out. So of course the book is Tender as the Flesh. Just momentarily blanked on the name of it. Tender as the Flesh. I'm reading it on my phone, so the screen will be quite small. I'm reading it through Everand, but the page count for Everand on my phone is 212 pages, so I don't think it'll take super long time to read, depending on how I feel about it, of course. I am a little bit nervous because, as you know, it's very much out of my comfort zone, but we're going to give it a try. That's, after all, part of what the point of these vlogs are. So yeah, so we'll see how we go, and who knows, maybe I'll love it. Maybe I'll understand what Victoria likes so much about it, or we'll see. I'm just about to go in and get my hair done, so I'm going to be reading it while I get my hair done, which seems like a good idea because, you know, you're kind of stuck in a chair for a few hours. I'm getting it cut and coloured, so that takes a while. So yeah, that's the plan. And I don't know, depending on how I go with the book and with the hair, I'm not sure when I'll jump in and talk to you about it. But either way, I'll see you soon with an update on how we're going. Hello. So I am halfway through the book, and it's a lot. I don't know whether I'm enjoying it or not. I'm not disliking it. It's very hard hitting, and there's a lot going on, and it's very confronting. So I'm not quite sure that I can potentially say I'm enjoying it, but I definitely can see that it's very well written, and I'm very intrigued to see where it's going to go. There's a lot of stuff in here, not just about cannibalism. There's also quite a bit of stuff about loss of a child and also infertility, so that's hitting quite hard as well. But yeah, it's a lot. But I'm intrigued to see where it's gonna go. Part 1 ended with, I mean, it's bad, like everything that is happening in the book, the way that they treat the humans that are the meat is really quite horrifying, and it's also like horrifying to think that that's how we treat animals that we intend to eat. So it's, you know, it's confronting on both levels. But he's been gifted a woman who has been bred to be food, and she was real dirty and stuff, and he just washed her, and then he just had sex with her. But like, it's very obviously rape because she doesn't really have any way of consenting. She's been bred to be a submissive animal, basically. She has no vocal cords. She's kept, like, she's really dirty. She's not been kept very well. So it's like, yeah, it's bringing up a lot of conversations around, like, what is consent. But it doesn't describe it or anything. It just says, at the end of the bit, it says, he's naked. They're both naked. She's just cleaned her and they're both naked. And it says, what he wants to do is prohibited, but he does it anyway. But the way that it puts it is like, he just does this thing, like, not like, and it's, you know, not good because it's prohibited, but not because it's not consensual. So that was a lot. But yeah, I'm going to continue with it. So we'll just see. Hello. So I have just been editing this vlog, and I realised that I have not actually talked to you about how I feel at the end of Tender is the Flesh, and I also didn't actually talk about the very end of Madam either. So, briefly on Madam, I ended up really enjoying it. It wasn't the ending that I expected, but I thought it worked really, really well, and yeah, overall, I really enjoyed that book. As for Tender is the Flesh, it was interesting. I definitely can understand what Victoria saw in it. It is definitely very hard-hitting. There's a lot to think about in a very short book, and it is definitely making you think about us and the way that we live and the choices we make and the type of society that we have, which is a good thing, but it was very confronting. The ending felt really abrupt, and I don't really know why it ended the way it did. I feel like, given some of the characters' seeming motivations throughout the story, I didn't understand why they made the choices they made in the end to get them to where they went. And yeah, like I said, it just kind of ended very abruptly. I was initially a little bit surprised at what the main character ended up doing in the end. But then when I thought about it some more, I thought, no, actually it fits with what else was going on and the potential consequences of his actions. So what he did in the end kind of made sense. But yeah, I guess the abruptness of the ending kind of didn't really work for me because it tied up one loose end, but it didn't end up, like, it just didn't explain how they were really going to get around any of the other loose ends. So a very confronting book, a very thought-provoking book, a very interesting book, but not necessarily to my taste, not necessarily how I would have wanted it to end up. I'm glad I read it though. It was definitely very interesting. I'm glad I pushed myself out of my comfort zone.
I would never have read it otherwise. I very nearly actually picked a different book entirely, but then I thought, no, I will probably like that one too. Let's go out of the comfort zone, push ourselves. And like I said, I'm glad I did. It's definitely worth a read, definitely worth thinking about. But yeah, I'm feeling very ambivalent even about the book. Anyhow, so how did the overall experiment go? How did the blog go? Well, as you no doubt figured out from the amount of updates I had about Madam, that was my favourite book out of the 3. Like I said, I did enjoy Disillusion by C.J. Sansom. I did run it through Corpwell. I know I said in the actual video that I wasn't sure if I hadn't run it through Corpwell yet, so I wasn't sure what I'd given it. So give me a sec. What I ended up giving it. So I gave it 7.29, which doesn't work out to be 4 stars. Having said that though, I don't know whether I'll continue with the series. I haven't felt like, I'm glad I read it, I enjoyed it, but I haven't felt particularly like, oh my gosh, that was amazing, I really want to read the next book. I haven't felt particularly compelled, so I'm not sure. We'll see. It was good. Definitely if you like historical fiction, mysteries, I think it's worth the read. And then Tender as the Flesh. Like I said, I'm glad I read it, but yeah, I guess I'm glad I read it, so that's that. I have not run that through Corpwell yet. I read it over the weekend and got home on Monday night, and then haven't been feeling super well. I'm fine, but yeah. So anyway, that's that. But yeah, so overall, I definitely think that Victoria knows me quite well, because the one book that she recommended directly to me, I really, really enjoyed. When I first saw Victoria talking about Disillusion, I definitely was, I think, more the kind of thing I would have wanted to read then, and because of the comparison to a favourite series of mine, I definitely felt like it would be the right kind of thing for me. I prefer the other series. I prefer the Mary Russell series, which is the Sherlock Holmes historical retelling, which I mentioned. So I definitely prefer that one to the Matthew Shardlake books. But they have merit. They were quite good. So I'm definitely glad I read that. I'm glad that I finally got it off the TBR. And yeah, Tender as the Flesh, I'm glad I read it, but that's about all I have to say. So anyway, that's everything that I had to say. That's all the books that I read. Like I said before, this is the second of the series. The first one was Katie Colson made me do it, so it is linked below, like I said. Victoria is obviously linked below. Please go and check out her channel. Subscribe. She's wonderful. I definitely feel like I had much more success with these books for this blog than I did with the books for the Katie Colson blog. However, that was definitely more out of my comfort zone because, yeah, none of those, well, Frederick Buckman wasn't on my radar, but it wasn't necessarily out of my comfort zone, but the other two were definitely out of my comfort zone. So this one was more successful, but I deliberately went out of my comfort zone with the other ones and have been thinking about reading Bunny for a while, and that gave me the opportunity to do so. But yeah, definitely feel like this was more successful in the sense of the books being more successful reads for me. But in terms of like, what am I getting out of these vlogs? I'm enjoying myself. I feel like I'm pushing my boundaries a little bit. I'm reading some stuff that I maybe wouldn't have read. So from that point of view, I feel like I'm getting what I wanted out of them. I wanted to push myself a little bit, and just sort of see what why other people like certain things. And the thing is that obviously I've read many books that are popular for many people. And like I said at the beginning of this and at the beginning of the other vlog, none of these books are books that I only ever heard about from those particular people, but they are books that, or necessarily that way, but they are books that that person in particular said something that made me want to read it. So what was it about what they said that made me want to read it? So yes, so for the C.J. Sansom book, it was the comparison that I found in what Victoria was saying about to the Mary Russell series that I love so much. For Madam, it was just the fact that Victoria recommended it to me because she thought that I would like it based on what she knows about me and my taste. And then the third one, yeah, I had heard so much about it from Victoria and others, and I wanted to see what was going on and what the fuss was about, but I didn't know what I'd think of it. So I think it was successful because I liked it more than I expected to, and I got more out of it than I expected to. I actually expected to DNF it, to be honest with you. So that was successful that I didn't DNF it. I have not rung that one through Corpwell either, so I don't know where that will end up. But anyway, yeah, so that's it from me today. That's the whole vlog. Let me know in the comments below what you thought of the vlog. Have you read any of the books that I've been talking about in this vlog? What did you think of them? Do you feel inspired to pick up any of these books? Let me know if you were aware of Victoria or not before you watch this video. Let me know if you like these vlogs in general, and if you want to see more of them. And I guess also, if you haven't read BookTuber and you would like me to do a vlog of this nature about you and books that you recommend, then let me know that as well. If you'd like to leave me a comment but you don't know what, then leave me a glasses emoji, because Victoria and I both wear glasses. All of my social media details are listed in the description below, so if you'd like to go and follow me on any of those other platforms, please feel free to do so. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, I would absolutely love it if you would subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. And yeah, like I said, thank you so much for watching. I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you next time.